Hey everybody, Ross with Coinsncoffee here, and I want to show you what I picked up at my local coin shop this past week. I say local coin shop, but it is a town over, but they have such a great selection and such good value, and the guys behind the counter are just such a pleasure to deal with. It is totally worth the drive. So what ultimately brought me over there was I saw some fractional currency notes there the previous time that I went, and it really interested me, and I've really wanted to expand my currency collection. So during the Civil War, when people were hoarding all of their spare change for the precious metals, the post office would go ahead and let you redeem, say, a 2-cent stamp or a 3-cent stamp in order for that change. Now, the post office ended up completely running out of extra postage for that, and so the government decided for a small time to actually print out small bills. So this is fractional currency that was issued between 1864 and 1869. This is a third issue, and this is a 3-cent bill. So you could change this in for 3 cents, or use it for that. And that to me, like, it seems so quirky now. That's so weird, but yet so cool at the same time. Now, this bill was kind of on the lower end because I'm just getting into it, so I didn't want to spend too much on it. And there's some details, to be desired on this bill. There is a small hole in it, and the color, is a little stained, but to me that doesn't matter. Being 150 years old, it's going to show its age a little bit. But I always thought it was cool to have a 3-cent bill. Now over here is a 5-cent bill. So you can see up at the top, U.S. postage, 5 cents. Postage currency. And this is the first issue that started in 1862, which lasted until 1863. And when we look at the front, we can tell that everything is nice and centered. But when looking on the back, it seems as if the design was placed quite off-center as well. So that's pretty cool. You can tell, like, this little piece is missing off the other end. And this one does have, hold it up to the light, and you can see a few little holes in it, but to me that's perfectly okay. This is a great way to dive in. And when I was looking at some of the other small bills, I saw this one, and this was a 10-cent military currency, and this was issued in 1946, and this is what we used during the military occupation of Japan after World War II. And that the frame looks very similar to an American bill. The only difference, well, one of the many differences is it's squared, and then everything in the middle is different. But if you look at the frame, the border, and the font and style of military currency, it looks quite like an American bill. Now again, this one has some stains, and a piece is ripped off at the top, but I really did not spend a lot of money on this either, so I had perceived value to it. Issued pursuant to military proclamation. So this is cool. This is something that I really want to start getting more into, is some of these lesser known currency bills. Now, there were a few things, nothing too crazy, but I've been wanting to add a little bit to my type collection. And so I just picked up a 40% silver proof Bicentennial Kennedy. They didn't have the proofs, but I did get the San Francisco Silver Clad Bicentennial Quarter. That's 40% silver. This was a Benji that they had, and they had a really good price for it. It was essentially just above spot that I paid for this, and it does have a scratch running up along Liberty, but everything else seemed really nice about it, and I couldn't just not get it. And then this is for the typeset as well. So for the Statehood Quarters, I've got a 40% silver Louisiana proof, because that's my home state. And so I want to get everything Louisiana as much as possible. I like all the bicentennials, and my birth year is 1982. So those are some of the themes that I have in my typeset. So any of the clad Roosevelts or clad Jeffersons are all going to be 82 proofs. .82 proof again here. So of course I have plenty of wheats and steels. However, I want to really try to get the nicest ones possible, and maybe try to just put only proofs. I don't think they made proofs for this year, but just finding a really nice example. Again, I want to get some nice proofs to go in. Over here I had an extra Liberty nickel. This is a Type 1 1913 Buffalo, which I really like. It has a really good strong date on 1913 and has a rotated die towards it. So I thought that was really cool. And for the Westward Journey, I actually used the magic nickel that I found in one of my nickel box hunts. So we can see the obverse here and obverse there. And you can see the line around it. So this is the side that was cut out and then another nickel placed in. So we have a Barber, Mercury, and Roosevelt. Nothing too special there. I decided to put the polished Standing Liberty quarter from the previous video into here. A nice 1964. For the Washington American the Beautifuls, I put my favorite West Point quarter, which is the San Antonio Missions. And there's the 1982 proof. We just have regular old Walker. I might put that Franklin in here. I might not, just because of the scratch. I had a pretty decent BU Kennedy from 1964 that I have in there. Again, an 82 proof clad. And the Morgan is from the Orleans Mint. Again, fitting the theme of the album. And this is the 40% silver Bicentennial Ike. So again, I'm going to put this quarter in its spot, but once I do find a good proof, I will switch it out for that one. And I just had a regular Susan B. Anthony that I threw in here, and I don't really get too much into these, but again, I might find a president that I like and put their proof in there, and just really kind of cherry pick, you know, the ones that I put into these small dollar coins. That's the point of the typeset, is to really make it your own. Like this clad Bicentennial Ike has some kind of plating on it, which I think is really cool. So that is going in there. So those are the coins for the typeset that I'm putting in. And last but not least, what first caught my eye in the case was this brass round from New Orleans, well, rather from Hammond, Louisiana, and it was from 1982. Again, that's my birth year. You know, you can see a pattern right here. And so I asked the owner, you know, how much these were, and he said, oh, well, you get those free when you buy a set of these. And so this is from the Louisiana Numismatic Association from 1966. And in it, you get a silver round and a pewter round. And these are just underneath an ounce. And he was selling them for a rather decent price. So I was like, okay, let's go ahead and grab this. And I can get the brass round as well. But look at that nice proof. Nice frosted relief with the mirrored background. Louisiana Numismatic Association. So again, anything to do with Louisiana, the year 1982, or the bicentennial years, those are some of my favorites that I like to put into my US type coin collection. Alright everybody, this has been Ross of Coins and Coffee. Thank you all so much for watching this video and for taking a look at some of these finds that I've got, and I'll catch y'all next time.